The Australian state of New South Wales has declared a state of emergency over raging bushfires. Now, this means state authorities now have the power to force people to evacuate.
The 7-day state of emergency is set to begin tomorrow as the region braces for a deadly weekend ahead.
The reason why we're doing it tomorrow, ahead of Saturday, is to make sure that Commissioner Fitzsimmons and all of the emergency personnel, all of our agencies, all organisations know that from tomorrow they will be subject to forced evacuations, road closures, road openings and anything else we need to do as a state to keep our residents safe and to keep property safe.
There's no end in sight to the fire crisis. Bushfires are a yearly problem for Australia, but the extent that this season has been unprecedented.
More than 4 million hectares of bushland has been burned and more than 1,000 homes have been destroyed since November. The death toll is now rising daily.
It's the southeastern region that has borne the biggest brunt. At least 8 people have been killed in the area just this week alone.
And more than 200 fires are now burning across the southeastern states of New South Wales and Victoria. And authorities have declared a tourist leave zone in places like Bateman's Bay. That's a popular holiday spot in New South Wales.
Well, tourists and residents are now scrambling to evacuate amidst tomorrow's state of emergency. The New South Wales Transport Minister says that it's the largest mass relocation of people that the region has ever seen. Military ships and helicopters have been deployed to help evacuation efforts, as Roger Maynard reports.
A mass evacuation, a mass exodus, as it's being called here, with police trying to open roads so that people can get back to their homes, back to Sydney, back to wherever they live. The Australian Navy is also on its way. In fact, one ship arrived at Maricoota on the south of Victoria this morning with much needed supplies, and that ship aims to take out about 1,000 people at a time over the next 24 to 48 hours back to other places in Victoria or New South Wales. So that's one effort. There's a real sense of urgency here, I have to say, caused by the fact that these heat wave conditions are on the way. By tomorrow, Friday, temperatures are expected to get to 40 degrees or so, accompanied by strong winds, which will in turn fan the flames. And the police are saying, get out while you can. They don't want to see a repeat of the terrible situation we saw earlier this week when so many people were stranded.
The heat wave is set to continue in southeastern Australia, with high temperatures also expected in Sydney and Canberra this weekend. The bushfires have been fueled by racing winds and temperatures of more than 40 degrees Celsius.
Climate experts and activists have blamed the crisis on climate change and have called on Prime Minister Scott Morrison to do more. Mr. Morrison has, however, continued to defend his climate policies. He says Australia's bushfire season cannot be solely linked to climate change.
I've always acknowledged the link, as has the Minister, between the broader issues of global climate change and what that means for the world's weather and the dryness of conditions in many places. But I'm sure you would also agree that no response by any one government anywhere in the world can be linked to any one fire event. And I don't think you're suggesting that here in New South Wales, Victoria or anywhere else. The government's plans on climate change are very clear, and the achievements we're making, we've set out well.
The impact of the Australian fires is felt in New Zealand. Pictures on social media show the impact of the drifting smoke on the icy white glaciers on New Zealand's South Island.
Haze created by the smoke has turned the skies there into shades of yellow, orange, grey and brown. It's also cut visibility to 10 kilometres in the worst affected areas.